Awesome. I'm seeing some familiar names. Hi,
Okay,
Sandra.
welcome everyone.
Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Hi, Michelle. Welcome.
Just give everyone a minute just to come in, settle in. Welcome everyone. My name is Wendy Camisar, Instructor and Research Specialist at the Howard County Library System Central Branch. We're so happy to have you with us today for session 5 of Way to Go, a 6-week series presented by our partners at the Howard County Health Department and Giant Food. Please be aware that closed captioning for today is provided as a courtesy by Zoom and may contain some errors. By hovering at the bottom of your screen, you will see the CC button and you can toggle that to turn on or off the captions. Also, if you have any questions during the session, please type them in the chat box below. We are joined once again by Melanie Burdick. Melanie is a registered dietitian, a licensed dietitian nutritionist, a certified diabetes care and education specialist, a certified specialist in obesity and weight management, and a certified personal trainer. She holds a Bachelor of Science in Dietetics from Eastern Michigan University and a Master of Science in Applied Nutrition from the University of New England. She believes in practical steps to improving health and wellness where no food is off limits. So great to have you with us once again as we continue this series, Melanie. And with that, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Happy Monday. Hope your week is off to a good start today. We were just commenting before the presentation started about how beautiful, how sunny. We're getting closer to spring. So I hope you had a great day, and it's good to see some familiar names. Welcome, Sandra, Michelle. It's good to have you all here. And yes, this is week 5 of our Way to Go series. So we are moving right along. And tonight we're going to talk about 2 of my favorite topics, physical activity and sleep. So really, and why these are important components when we think about our weight management, our if we're planning to have weight loss, and really how these impact so many different areas of our life. So we'll jump right in tonight. And so really just recapping the last couple of weeks. So we started out, it seems like so long ago, week 1, we talked about goal planning and balanced eating. And so I hope that over the last few weeks, it's given you the opportunity to think about maybe some personal goals that you could set for yourself. Or maybe there are some goals that you've been working on since we met in January. And so if there's anything that you've been focusing on, let us know. Feel free to share in the chat. We want to know what you've been working on, or maybe you're thinking about a goal in the next couple of weeks. Let us know what's on your mind. I always like to hear what people are working on. And then, of course, balanced eating. So really, when we think about balanced eating, fruits and vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, really minimizing those sweets and treats that we all like, and trying to really have a bulk of our diet from those real nutritionally dense foods. And then, of course, leaving a little room for those favorites. And then in week 2, we talked about meal planning. So when we plan meals, we have an idea of what's going to be on the table for tonight, maybe the next night, and throughout the week. And so we know meal planning can really help save us money, reduce stress, save time, and lower food waste, which is a very important way that meal planning can really benefit not only ourselves, but the planet. So let me know if you've done any meal planning. Let me know in the chat what's been working for you. Is there a system that works well for you? Do you plan one day? Do you plan 2 days? Maybe you're just thinking about what's for breakfast this morning. That's all about planning. And so when we have a game plan, we're going to be able to meet our goals. And then during week 3, we did a virtual store tours. We walked through each of the sections of Giant, and we're able to talk about all those different foods that we can put into our cart. Hopefully, I pointed out some that were new or interesting for you and gave you that opportunity to look for them during your actual shopping trip. And then the last time we met, we focused on mindfulness, which is such an important topic. Slowing down, being present when eating, really paying attention to our foods, how it smells, how it tastes, how it crunches, all those different flavors, and really just spending more time. And so a very important component when it comes to health. Also, when we're mindfulness, we're slowing down, we're savoring each bite, and we're less likely to eat as much. And so tonight we're going to talk about physical activity and sleep. All right. So really we'll focus on today, really the importance of exercise and easy ways to move more. And then of course, one of my favorite topics, sleep. So we'll talk about the benefits and actually some foods that can actually be beneficial and help you get a better night's rest. So let's take a moment and talk about the last 2 years. So let me know in the chat, how has your physical activity been? Have you been more active? Have you been less active? Has your typical activity routine changed in the last 2 years? At the start of COVID, going back 2 years, many gyms closed. Maybe people weren't able to follow their typical regimen. And it's really changed our level of activity. And then also, we've been working at home, or maybe we've been at the office less often. And some people may have started to notice that those activities that we did on a daily basis, going back about 2 years, really helped us with our weight. So maybe we were walking across the parking lot at our office, or maybe we were running from different job site to job site, or maybe we had to walk across the building to print something, or maybe we met our coworkers for lunch down the street. All of that activity didn't seem like a lot, but it did add up and it helped us with our health. More recently, many people, myself included, we've been working in front of the computer. We're not having that daily engagement or outing and getting that additional activity that we once had. So we're starting to see a change in our level of physical activity, and this can impact our weight. Now, when we talk about physical activity, it does not have to be exercise. Many people think of exercise, they think, oh, I have to go to the gym, work out really hard. But I like to use the term physical activity because it's really more manageable. It's less intimidating. And so physical activity can truly be anything that you enjoy doing. So if you love to go to a gym, absolutely. If you love to walk your dog, absolutely. But we know we have to have some form of activity every single day for health benefits. And so the recommended activity level is at least 30 minutes 5 days per week for a total of 150 minutes weekly. And at this level, this is going to help us achieve different health benefits. It might help lower our glucose levels. It might help with our blood pressure or cholesterol. It might help us lose a few pounds. And so we know for benefits, we want to aim for 30 minutes, 5 days a week. But what we want to think about too, we're building in new behaviors. And we know with more activity, there's more benefits. So we really want to strive to be active for 30 minutes every day of the week. Now, if anyone wants to share, let me know in the chat, how would you rate yourself? Are you getting 30 minutes a day? Are you getting more? Are you getting less? Or is this an area you're thinking, maybe I need to start increasing a little bit back to my old baseline? So 30 minutes a day. Now, that can seem like a lot. But let's break it down a little bit. So even if you have a busy schedule, you can break it into 10-minute intervals. So maybe you take your dog out for a walk in the morning, maybe you take a walk on your lunch break, and then maybe you take a 10-minute walk after dinner. There's 30 minutes. And so we know that the more activity we have, it's going to play so many different benefits. It's going to help, one, with calorie burn. It's also going to help with muscle strength, balance, and coordination, which is very, very important. Also flexibility, very important as well. And then also the other benefits that come with physical activity, mind and mental health. So if anyone's ever taken a walk and they came back and they felt like $1,000,000, exercise helps build those endorphins. So you feel really accomplished and it just gives you this natural high, so to speak. And it makes you just want to keep doing it again and again. So activity can make a world of difference for our physical and for our mental health. Now, along with activity, there's a couple of different recommendations. So when we think about activity, this is usually like moderate intensity activity. So this would be things where you get your heart rate pumping, but you can still have a conversation. So maybe you're taking a stroll with your friend tomorrow morning. If you can still have a conversation, but maybe you're taking a few extra breaths, That's considered moderate physical activity. And that's that kind of activity that's really going to help strengthen your body, improve your heart health, and then, of course, help all of those other health parameters. So maybe tomorrow when you're taking a walk, you can do the talk test. See if you can say a full sentence. If you can without taking a breath, maybe pick up the pace just a little bit more. Now, we also want to think about other areas of physical activity. So many of us, we think about walking, jogging, cycling, that cardiovascular activity. But resistance training activities are also very, very important. And this is an area where we want to focus on at least twice a week, working all major muscle groups. So that would be back, your arms, legs, abs. And really, when we resistance train, that's either using weights, our own body weight, or maybe using something as simple as resistance bands. You still get a really good workout. And with resistance bands, they are going to help you build those muscles. And of course, that's going to be beneficial for long-term weight management. So if we build muscle, that's a great way to increase our metabolic rate. The higher our metabolic rate, the more calories we burn, which can help with weight maintenance or weight loss. So very, very important. So if anyone does any resistance training, let me know in the chat. What do you like to do? Is it hand weights? Is it body weight, maybe resistance bands? There's lots of different activities that you can do right in your own living room when it comes to resistance exercise. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a few slides. So really the goal, no matter where you're at, start where you are. Just think about moving. Just think about increasing that activity day by day. And the great thing is, and actually I've had two people mention this to me in the last couple of weeks. They said once they started increasing their activity, the daily activities like climbing the stairs got so much easier. So someone mentioned that, it was really intimidating to have to climb those stairs every day from your living room to your bedroom. But as they started to incorporate more activity, they were able to climb those stairs and not even think about it. And so that's when all of that activity has really paid off and strengthened your body. So think about ways that you can move more. Okay, so we can think about ways right now. So everyday activities, what can I do just to be a little bit more active? So we can think of a couple of different things. So let's think about maybe we're working from home. Well, maybe we work in a different area of our house, or we set an alarm to get up every half hour or an hour and get moving. Maybe we, take the long way around our house, or, maybe we go out and pick up the mail at the end of the street or a newspaper. Or maybe we're at shopping at Giant and we decide to park at the end of the parking lot. That's a great way just to add in a little bit more activity. And it's really not, too strenuous. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it adds up. So other ways you can build in more activity, maybe your favorite store. Maybe the next time you're at Giant, you make a couple of loops around the store. Or maybe you walk instead of, if you're in a shopping complex, maybe instead of driving closer, if you're shopping at multiple stores, you walk to them. So just a couple of things you can do to build in that activity. And then set a reminder or block your calendar for 30 minutes every day. So maybe it's at lunchtime. Maybe you block 12 to 12:30, and that's your time to take a walk, get some fresh air, or do things that you enjoy. And then, of course, if you have a fun or a furry four-legged friend, they always can benefit from a walk. So if you have a pup, this is a great way to get them exercise and you exercise. So you have a built-in exercise machine. So walk the dog, or maybe volunteer to walk one of your friend's dogs, or volunteer at a shelter. And that's a great way to get activity as well. So truly everyday activities. Now, as we get closer into spring, we're going to be thinking about planting flowers and maybe cleaning up the lawn. And those activities count as physical activity as well. So all of those general activities do pay off. So let's think about ways, to really increase our activity level. So we might just be starting out and we want to just think about incorporating more everyday activities into our routine. But maybe it's time to kind of bump it up even more. And so many of us have maybe some dusty exercise equipment or old equipment. Maybe it's in your basement. This could be things like a jump rope or an exercise ball or hand weights. These are all great things that we might have in our basement, myself included, and we can use these throughout the day. So we can leave some hand weights, next to our desk, or maybe in our living room next to our TV as a reminder to, do a few reps while we're watching TV. Or some people will take their resistance ball like they have here, and instead of having it sit in their basement, they'll sit it by their desk and they'll sit on it during the day as a way to engage their abs. And just with a few minutes, you start to feel that workout. So lots of different ways that you can really add that equipment into your day. Now, another thing we can do is create healthy defaults. And so this is really setting yourself up for success. So for me, I leave my hand weights in the TV room. So at night when I'm watching TV, I'm going to be more inclined to lift those weights. Or I also put my tennis shoes, by my bed. So I'm ready. I put them on as soon as I get out of bed. That's going to help me stay active and get outside. Or, maybe when I'm on the phone, maybe my new policy will be if I'm on taking a personal phone call, I'll walk around the house or take a walk outside. Building those defaults can really help us achieve our wellness goals, but it only takes just a few minutes and it doesn't take too much extra work. So other things that we can do, use home items. So maybe you're thinking about, maybe I should buy some hand weights, but I'm not there yet. Well, use something like a water bottle, laundry detergent. I've even had students, teenagers use paint cans to lift weights. They picked them up in the basement and that's how they pumped iron while they were home in the summertime. There's no wrong way to do it. So lots of ways you can use those items that might be in your kitchen. Can of soup, a water bottle, anything for some added resistance can really pay off. And then lastly, really sneaking it in. So like I mentioned, doing those everyday activities, how can you increase it? So maybe you're on a conference call at your work desk at home. Maybe you start walking in place during a conference call, or maybe you do some squats while you're listening to a webinar, or maybe you encourage your coworkers, if they're on a call, get out and walk and we can do a walking conference call. Any way to really boost that activity. So think about ways that maybe in your day, you could add one or two more bouts of activity. So if you have any ideas, let me know in the chat. What are ways that you can sneak it in? Now, what we also have found, during COVID, at the height of it, many of our gyms closed, and many of them have now reopened. But a lot of us have found the wonderful availability of online exercises, and so YouTube, so many free apps that are available now, where you don't have to set foot into a gym if you don't want to. You can use these in the comfort of your home. And even gyms like the YMCA and Planet Fitness, they've also added home apps as well. So you can exercise anywhere and still get all those wonderful benefits that you would at the gym. And so these are great resources. And actually, one of the two that I really love here, Fitness Blender at the bottom here, is one of my go-to workout websites, has a variety of different exercises from 5 minutes to an hour, all different abilities, and a great way to get a really good workout right in the comfort of your home. Another app that I really enjoy is called Fit On, and it's very similar. You can use it on your cell phone or tablet, and you can find an array of different classes from 5 minutes to an hour, weights or no weights. And it makes exercise really easy and it doesn't take a whole lot of time. So if you're thinking about upping your exercise game, use an online program. This is a great way to get moving. And then one thing that can be really fun is do a challenge. Find something to really help motivate you. And doing a challenge is a great way to do that, maybe with some friends or coworkers. And here is a challenge from one of my other favorite websites called Blogilates. It's a Pilates workout. And it had a challenge of different activities to do every day of the month. And these only take a few minutes to do. But if you start out with doing a challenge, maybe it's 5 sit-ups or 10 jumping jacks or 10 crunches. This is a great way to ease into exercise. It's not overwhelming, but you really start to feel the burn, so to speak, and you can start to see the benefits as well too. So doing a challenge at any level is a great way to build in that exercise. All right, so we're going to pause there. So just a very quick overview of the benefits of physical activity, and really think about ways that you can increase it in your day, or maybe change or modify what you've been doing. And it's important that we keep adding exercise if we can. If you are trying to maintain your weight, maybe you had weight loss in the last few months, we know from literature that we need to have at least 250 minutes up to 400 plus minutes a week to maintain that weight loss. So physical activity is very, very important. Again, one for health benefits, but also for people that have lost weight and want to maintain that weight loss. So very, very important. So now that we've talked a little bit about exercise, let's talk about one of my favorite topics, sleep. And nothing beats a good night's sleep. And we know that when we go to bed, it allows our body to regenerate, recharge. We charge our cell phone at night, let's charge our body. And so we know with better sleep, we know that it can help with stress levels, help with our immune health, really can help with concentration. Children do better in school when they have a good night's sleep, they have better test scores. And also too, when we have a better night's sleep, this can lower our risk of chronic disease. Lack of sleep can impact our appetite, which we'll talk about in a minute. So if it's impacting our appetite, we may not make the best food choices, which then can impact our disease risk. And then also too, you know what, when you're a little tired, you can be a little cranky and things might not be as enjoyable. So when we have a good night's sleep, it really can boost our mood. You wake up feeling refreshed and regenerated, and that gives you more energy in your day. So many, many reasons why sleep does a body good. We definitely want to aim for about 7 to 9 hours a night if we can do it. So let me know in the chat, how are your sleep levels? Are you getting a good night's sleep? Let me know what you generally, get for your hours of sleep a night. So one thing that I think is really fascinating when we talk about sleep is that it really plays an integral part of our weight management and our health endeavors. And so we know that a lack of sleep actually doesn't allow our body to reset. And so if we are sleep deprived, our appetite hormones do not get a chance to reset. So what happens with sleep deprivation? We have alterations in these different chemicals. So our first hormone is ghrelin. And so ghrelin is your hunger hormone. Your stomach's growling. That's an easy way to remember it. So when we have a lack of sleep, we don't have a chance for that to reset. So those ghrelin hormones start to increase. More ghrelin, the more hungry we're going to be. At the same time, our leptin levels, leptin is actually made in our fat cells. Leptin is our satiety hormone. And so this helps fill us up with meals. And so you can see when we have lack of sleep, our appetite hormones are out of sync. So appetite goes up, satiety goes down. So we want to make sure that once we're able to, try to get plenty of hours of sleep a night. But think about when you maybe have had a day where you didn't get a whole lot of sleep. And it looks like here, all right, Michelle, getting up every day at the same time. Excellent. Perfect. Perfect. So let's think of a day where maybe you didn't have a good night's sleep. Start to drag the next day, a little tired, a little grumpy. And so we may not be inclined to exercise because we're just so tired. But then we may not really be interested in making good food choices. When our ghrelin levels are high, it increases our drive for simple carbohydrates. So in studies, when patients have been sleep deprived, they wanted more candy, chocolate, donuts, the good things. And we're less inclined to have the veggies. So if we're sleep deprived, we might want to grab something quick for an energy boost. And then, we might have a craving for something. And then maybe we get a cup of coffee in the afternoon, which really helps us get through the afternoon and the rest of the day, but that caffeine stays in our system. And then that can impact our sleep as the evening winds down. That caffeine will stay in your system for about 6 hours or so. So if I have a coffee at 2 o'clock, it still might be impacting my sleep later in the evening. And so again, we get into this pattern of sleep deprivation. And so I think about a time when maybe we were traveling, or maybe you were in college, or your children were very young. You might have felt this way. Myself, I've experienced this. So it definitely is parallel to what they found in the different studies. So again, trying to get plenty of sleep is going to help with that appetite and those better food decisions. And then when we think about our sleep, there's a lot of different things that can impact our quality. So that's our environment, our eating behaviors, and then there's also food that we can incorporate into our day that really can make a difference. So let's talk about our environment in the next slide. So first off, let's think about the lighting. When we are going to bed, having a dark room is really going to help us relax and minimize any light that might be coming in from the outside world. So making sure, one, your lights are turned off, and then you have window coverings as well. Some people can be very sensitive to light coming into their room. And then also, so we've got that light that's coming in, and then your partner's habits. So this can play a part as well. So oftentimes, if they're snoring, or if they're a light sleeper, or if they hog the covers, or maybe they give off a lot of heat during the night, this can impact our quality of sleep as well. So really, really important that we try to work on that as well. And then technology. And so I know many of us might be guilty of this. Are you someone that likes to fall asleep with the TV on, or maybe you bring your laptop in to finish up some emails, or maybe you're reading your phone and scrolling social media? This is very, very tempting to do, but research shows that this light that's emitted from our screens can really interfere with your brain waves and causes it to be stimulated. And so that's harder for our body to relax. And so we want to make sure that in order to help our body relax before bed, that we really try to minimize, that blue light that's emitted from our different technology devices. So tablets, smartphones, the computer, the TV, you name it. And then also thinking about the room temperature. Having the room just slightly cooler can really help you keep from getting too warm, but you also won't be chilly at the same time. And so really just lowering that temperature, maybe just a few degrees overnight from your daily temperature, can really help you relax as well. So some considerations about that different room environment in your sleep hygiene. Okay. And then also too, the eating habits as well. So I mentioned this earlier. We know that our food choices can be impacted, with sleep deprivation. But poor eating can interfere with our sleep cycle. And so this means it's going to tell your brain that you're more hungry than you really are. And so we want to make sure that we try to get a handle on our sleep cycle. So we're getting plenty of sleep, again, 7 to 9 hours a night, and try to help, get into a regular routine as well. And that's going to help with that weight management. And then also something that can get us into a little bit of trouble, late night snacking. So this is often, we talked about last week, or 2 weeks ago, mindfulness. Mindless eating can impact, how many calories we're taking in. And often we know before we go to bed, there might be some snacking in front of the TV, but these foods might be higher in fat, or they might be heavier or have more sugar. And these items, one, can cause a digestive upset, maybe impact acid reflux, but also can be pro-inflammatory as well and can lead to weight gain. So we want to think about, how soon are we eating before we go to bed? Is it an hour? Is it 2 hours? General recommendation is at least about 2 hours or so to help prevent acid reflux, but also think about those other behaviors that you might catch yourself doing in the evening, eating in front of the TV, maybe eating in front of the refrigerator late at night. That can really impact our health overall. And like I mentioned, caffeine as well. So that's going to stay in our system for about 6 hours. So if we're having any coffee or tea or any other beverages in the afternoon, that definitely can throw off our sleep schedule. So definitely having those caffeinated beverages in the morning, that can actually help with alertness. But we want to make sure that we minimize that caffeine into those afternoon hours. And then, of course, along with that late night snacking I mentioned, there might be some goodies, and so that can impact your sleep quality and your digestive health as well. So really watching out for those items that might cause acid reflux: peppers, onions, maybe high fat foods or snacks. And then alcohol as well. So this is something that we often hear, is that alcohol is good for relaxing and can help you fall asleep. So yes, alcohol can help you relax, but it actually prevents us from reaching our different types, our different levels of sleep. So REM sleep, which is our deep sleep. So oftentimes people will fall asleep if they've had a glass of wine, but then they report waking up in the middle of the night and unable to fall back asleep. So definitely being careful about how soon you consume alcohol before bed. This can really help your body get into those different sleep cycles. And then medications as well too. I apologize. That is my my dog in the background. Medications can also have different side effects. They can cause fatigue or insomnia. So if you're taking anything like steroids or antidepressants, these can impact your sleep quality. And so if you are noticing any of these, definitely talk with your doctor and see if there's another option that would be better for your sleep quality. And lastly, tying together physical activity. So physical activity, inactivity can actually impact your sleep quality. So when we have activity during the day, it's a great way for our body to get that energy release, and it can help us relax in the evening as well and fall asleep easier. So again, all those benefits can really make a huge difference in your lifestyle routine. Now, there are many foods in our diet that we actually might be eating right now, but many of these items can have a positive impact on our sleep, which is fabulous. So foods that can really impact our health: complex carbohydrates, lean protein sources, of course, our heart healthy, mono and polyunsaturated fats, and also, there are some combinations that we can eat before bed that can help us with sleep as well too. And even some of our favorite beverages, like going to sleep as a kid. Maybe your parents encouraged you to have a warm glass of milk. There's actually some science behind that. The milk contains tryptophan, which can help with your serotonin levels and help you relax. So lots of good options, and I'll point out a few on the next slides. So really, when we think about our sleep, many of these, again, might be in our pantry right now. So there are certain foods that can really help you fall asleep. And these are actually recommended from the National Sleep Foundation. And so one of the first ones are different sources of complex carbohydrates. And so these can help boost those serotonin levels, which again are those though that hormone that helps you feel relaxed and happy and calm. So things that you can look for, things like popcorn, oatmeal, whole wheat crackers, these are all great options. And I apologize, my dog needs to go to boot camp. So if you have something like a bowl of cereal or a small snack before bedtime, maybe it's some Cheerios or some cereal, this is a great complex carbohydrate to help promote sleep. Also, too, nuts and seeds. We know the benefits of these for heart health, but these actually help boost our melatonin levels, which can help with that sleep wake cycle as well. So if we have these in our bloodstream before we go to bed, that's going to help your body fall asleep much easier. And then also other things as well, lean protein sources. So often we hear about turkey at Thanksgiving, but there are also other things like cottage cheese that are another source of tryptophan which also increase those serotonin levels. And so this is that happy hormone. So it can help you feel relaxed. And it's a great way to really, finish up the day. And actually, if you have something like cottage cheese with maybe some berries, those are also rich in melatonin as well. So it's a really good sleep promoting snack. So lots of things that you can choose from as well. Now, also too, our favorite fruits. We're always encouraging people to have plenty of fruits and vegetables, and certain fruits do contain melatonin as well. So again, another boost for your sleep quality. So tart cherry juice is a wonderful source. Also pineapples, bananas, and oranges are also helpful as well too. And also kiwis, they can also promote sleep as well. And then also in the wintertime, nothing is so relaxing, say, as a warm cup of tea. And even having something that's caffeine free, of course, like chamomile, ginger, or peppermint tea, or those sleepy time tea varieties. These are great to help relax and get you ready for bed. So lots of wonderful things that you can incorporate into your day and into your evening to help with that sleep quality. All right. So as we finish up for tonight, I appreciate spending, part of my Monday evening with everyone, and I apologize for my silly beagle in the background. She had a lot to say tonight. But with that, I will open it up. If anyone has any questions, I am happy to answer anything related to today's topic, or if there's any other nutrition questions on your mind, let me know. Oh, great. Thanks, Sandra. Good to see you. Great. So any questions at all, feel free, chime in the chat. I'm happy to answer anything. And again, if you have any other questions, even after today's presentation, I will put in our general email address here in the chat. Healthy Living at Giant Food. And so you can feel free to send an email to this account. I check this email. Oh, I made a mistake. Let's type this again. Healthy Living at giantfood.com. And I'm happy to answer any questions that come in. I know I always think of things after I've sort of thought it over, and some things will pop into my mind. So there we go. Any questions before I turn it over to Wendy? Oh, let's see here. Oh, perfect. Awesome. Well, I appreciate everyone's time this evening. I appreciate you coming out. And all right, well, thanks, Michelle. I appreciate that.
All right, thank you for joining us today.
Awesome.
Thank you for joining us today. And thank you, Melanie, for this great session with so many helpful tips. And I've included a link to our survey in the chat box. And we will see you all next Monday for the final session in this series. Okay, have a good night, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great week.